Hello, this is wmpyr. In this video today, I wanted to talk about a misconception in the martial arts. And let's see, I pretty much first started off by thinking, why do we have such a problem in the martial arts where people are bashing each other and they're constantly arguing about what works and what doesn't work? What you do is fake and going to get you killed on the streets, whereas to what I do is the real deal and it's effective. This kind of argument, right? Why do we have so much of this? And one of the things I feel like really stems from a misconception on what I'm going to call, because there's really no name on it, I'm just going to make up a name, and I'm going to call it academic training. So it has to do with something that I'm going to call academic training. What is that? Basically, when the teacher is going to show a move to the students and the teacher demonstrates the move, so it would be like me in class, and I have my student come up and I say, throw me a punch. So the student throws me a punch, and of course the reality is the student is going to throw me a punch respectfully. They're going to throw it at me because we both know that this is not a street fight. The student's not trying to beat me, so he knows that I'm going to try to show and teach something to the class, that it's valuable. So he's going to throw a punch, and chances are it's not even going to hit me, even if I didn't do anything about it. It's going to be nice and slow and whatnot, right? And then from there, I'm going to demonstrate the technique, not super fast or not super hard to make it realistic, but because if I did do it realistic, I would be taking advantage of someone who's being nice to me and I'm going full force to him. That doesn't make any sense. But the purpose here is to show it to the class so the class can see what I'm doing, and they're taking mental notes, and now the next step is they're gonna imitate it. It's all about the learning. So this is called academic training. Everybody does it. I don't care if you do MMA, if you do Krav Maga, some military style, if you do some realistic urban modern style of self-defense, or you do some really traditional historical ancient martial arts. It doesn't matter. Everybody does this, all right? It's just a matter of certain styles, they do more of it than other styles. That's all the difference, really. So maybe in MMA, they do it, but then the focus more is on the sparring. Maybe in some traditional martial arts, it's just all academic training. Just all of it is academic training. And I think the biggest misconception here is that, like, let's say an MMA person or a street fighter or even someone who doesn't do martial arts sees a traditional martial arts person doing this, doing academic training, and they go, that's unrealistic. Then the first thing that the traditional martial arts person is going to go is they're going to be like, how dare you say it's unrealistic? This has been passed down from generations. It was used in warfare in ancient times, and then the modern people or the person criticizing is going to be like, well, can you prove it? Do you have video footage? Do you know, are there records that it was used in war, or whatever? And they're attacking the techniques. It's not about the techniques. So the person who's criticizing doesn't understand that what they're criticizing is the training method, and the training method is something that they use too. Academic training, you need it. That's how you demonstrate, and that's how the student picks it up. You need to do it. So criticizing that is stupid, you know. But the person that's getting criticized, the traditional martial arts person, is going, you're attacking my techniques, and that's not what it's about. They're not attacking the techniques. But so the problem here, the misconception is on both parties. They don't understand the difference between realistic training methods and technical training. To them, it's all the same. So if you're training realistic techniques, like techniques taught from a bodyguard, or techniques taught from a security guard or police or military or self-defense stuff, or even prison fighting methods, or something along those lines. A really, really experienced Street Fighters test is going to show you some moves. Whatever the case, right? All of that, if they're showing it to you, they're teaching it to you, that's academic training, all right? We're not, it doesn't matter if the technique is realistic or if the technique is, in some traditional martial arts, we have exercises. So it could be a drill. It could be something like chi sao. It could be like we're just practicing to get the energy, to get a rhythm, or get the feel, the sensitivity. Or it might just be to practice certain techniques. So like my student throws me a punch and I do 5 moves. Of course, that's unrealistic in a real fight, but I'm doing 5 moves just so I can get the hang of it. And so I'm parrying, I'm hooking, I'm locking him up, and then I'm putting him into takedown, and we switch. And now I throw a punch and he does 5 moves on me. Once again, in a real life situation, it's going to be hard to even just do 1 move on a person that's trying to kill me or really hurt me. But in practice, I'm doing 5 moves because, first of all, my training partner is allowing me to do it, and it's just about getting the technique. So it's an exercise. This is not about reality. So whether you're doing exercises like that or whether you're doing realistic moves, like the guy throws a punch, I cover up and I kick him in the shins, that's pretty realistic. Okay, so it doesn't matter. If you're doing academic training, then it's all of that is unrealistic because you're not doing it in a real context. You're doing it in a learning context. You're there to learn. If you were really there to do it realistically, then I'm going to use fakes. He's not going to know what's coming. I'm going to use deception. And then when I hit him in the shin, I'm going to hit him as hard as I can. I'm going to hit him to hurt him. You can't do that in training. So academic training, and now what I'm talking about more is like full contact sparring. 2 totally different things, 2 totally different animals. So that's another thing. Now in the MMA side, you're going to get people that they don't know the difference between learning and testing themselves. So you'll even hear some professional fighters talk about it. They're like, I can't train full contact every time. And they know they can't do that 3 days before a fight because you're going to risk getting injured. And if you do get injured, now you're going to lose a payday. It's going to be very bad for your career, so your fighting career. So there you go. Even in like something like MMA, you need to know the difference between learning and testing yourselves. So that's the thing here. From a test, a brutal test like that, yes, you gain experience and you learn. Yes, you do learn. It's up to you to learn from it. But from that valuable experience, you can learn some very valuable stuff. But that kind of learning is not the same as academic learning where you're trying to go, okay, let me get down these motor skills. Let me practice it over and over and over and over and get down the same motor skills without me worrying about this other person bashing my face in. So that is the thing that I want to clarify is there's got to be a difference. People need to understand that academic training is not the real thing. You got to admit that. If you do a lot of that, if you do traditional training, you have to admit it, and you have to understand the difference. And one of the terrible things that I've seen on YouTube is an instructor who goes, all right, I'll spar with you, with a student or someone who comes in and they have like MMA background or something, they have kickboxing background. Okay, I'll spar with you. As they're sparring, the teacher has such a big ego that he's still trying to put it in the context of academic training. So he's still trying to like coach the guy. Oh, good job. And the other guy who's thinking, wait a minute, I thought we're sparring full contact here, but you're still kind of like telling me what to do. Then this is not, are we full contact sparring or are we doing academic training? And the teacher has to keep his position here. He has to keep his rank. So that's why he's doing this instead of just going, let's just, zip it and just go full contact. And then you get your butt kicked. So what? You got your butt kicked. There's always someone better than you, but a lot of times they can't do it. They have to act that way. So I think that's a shame, and just wanted to talk about that, bring that up to you guys' attention. And now go watch some YouTube videos and see for yourself. Does this teacher know, or do these people training, do they know the difference? And ask yourself and try to see if they do or not. They may say they do, but chances are a lot of times I feel like a lot of people don't know the difference. So anyway, thank you for listening, and take care, folks.